Hi everybody, BL here, hoping that you're doing well, working on the pieces to your puzzle one at a time. I trust everybody is getting through this pandemic situation well, and or as well as you can be. Excuse me. I have my ACV, mix mine with water, and so that way I can get more of it down through the course of a day. Because your straight ACV is, that'll get you. But if you just pour some in your water, and that's what you drink throughout the day, you're getting more of it. But what I wanted to talk about today was the, I just couldn't hold myself on this one, this renting situation. I've been talking with some landlords, and I get it that we've got this global crisis pandemic situation going on. A lot of people are not working, or not gainfully employed, not full-time employed, whatever the circumstance is. But we still got to pay our rent. Yes, there's a moratorium. I would think the purpose of the moratorium is to prevent you from being put out if you legitimately didn't have the funds and were legitimately working toward something or some solution to be able to pay your rent going forward. But for those who are working, are earning some sort of income, who are getting all these stimulus checks, who are getting the extra food stamps, who are getting the extra unemployment, who are getting the child tax monies, pay your rent. If you don't pay your rent, guess what? The bill increases. So instead of, let's say if your rent's $1,000, instead of the $1,000 you owed, was this August, rent was due, $1,000 due August 1st. I didn't pay it. So here, roll around August 5th, it's late. So now August 6th, I owed them $1,100. Push it out to September, same thing. Now I owe them $2,200. The higher the bill gets, the harder it is to make it happen, or to get it caught up. And then when the moratorium is over, and let's just be real, every gravy train has an end of the line. It's not going to be forever that, you can continue to just live and not pay rent. Most landlords will try to work with you or have been trying to work with people. And while you have this cushion of a moratorium, get your stuff together. If it means you got to go out and, what they DoorDash, squeegee the people's windshields, whatever it is. And if you're only able to get up half of the rent, that's something. That's better than nothing. But if you're getting all this stimuluses and unemployments and everything else, your landlord needs to get paid. Because what you're doing is you're taking advantage of a situation and you're creating unnecessary debt for them. So now they can't pay the mortgage for the unit that you're in. And if too many of their tenants are doing it, then they can't even pay the mortgage for the house that they're in. So now their children and their wives, or I'm assuming it's a guy, whatever, but it could be a girl, are in jeopardy of being, unhoused because you're not doing your part. How do I word this? Bottom line, a lot of people tend to take advantage. Yeah, free money, free money, free money. We know free money is not good money. Everything that's free is not always good for you. Chances are if it's free, there's a string attached. Whether you see the string today or not, there is a string attached to it. Keep that in mind. So you're encumbering yourself, and you don't even realize that you're encumbering yourself by, getting yourself in this situation. But what happens if you get evicted? When the moratorium is over and you're served with eviction papers, you get to court, judge says you got 24 hours to get your stuff. If you've been messing over the money, you don't have any money to even put your stuff on a U-Haul truck and take it to a storage. In case you didn't know, those prices are going up also. I was looking at storage units just because, y'all, I need to clean up again. I got to get rid of more stuff. And so I was thinking maybe I should put some stuff in storage because I'm kind of a pack rat and never want to get rid of it. As soon as I get rid of something, within a month or so, I find a need for it. So I was looking at storages, and these prices are going ridiculous high as well. So you mess around and position yourself where when you're not paying your rent, and judge says, gotta go, you're out, and you don't have any money to even get a storage to put your stuff in. So you lose your furniture, your clothes, your kids' furniture, their clothes, their toys, your appliances, all of your memories, your photo albums, your, I don't know, certificates on the wall, all of your decor and things like that. All that's lost because you can't walk with it. You cannot carry all of this stuff in a bag with you. And if you can't do that, what happens? It gets set out on the street because the marshals will come and set your stuff out on the street. And you're going to fight all them people trying to get to whatever good stuff they think they can get. You be standing right there. I've seen it happen. Stuff set out, people pull up, they like it, they start taking, and the owner standing there, and what they can do, they can fight all these people trying to take their stuff. So there's a thought for you all on that. But the bigger picture really is that we're messing over, not we, I'm not a we, but some people that are not paying their rent, who have the capacity to pay their rent, but they're riding this out, or even the ones that have the capacity to pay some but are choosing to pay nothing, are messing over the small-time landlords. The ones who only have, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 units total. Or, 2 or 3 multifamilies and that's it. And that, 2 or 3 multifamilies, that's enough for them to pay their mortgage, have a decent living. They're not getting rich. They're not doing 14 days in Rome every year, or Europe, or whatever the case may be. They're getting by. And the problem with that is, we know real estate is a direct link to wealth building. Chances are those small mom and pops, we put them out of business. Who owns that real estate? It goes back to the bank, because if you don't pay the rent, eventually they're going to have to sell or foreclose. If they sell, chances are they're going to sell to who has the money, who has a check right now to walk in and hand them and get a close. Deep pockets. Average Joe Schmo is not a deep pocket. Deep pockets tend to be the corporations. The ones who, when you look, if you go digging across all these trusts and all these LLCs and 4 or 5 layers in, you'll see chances are a lot of those owners are the same. They might have this company, this LLC, one company here, one company there, LLC here, a trust here, whatever structure they put it under. And they keep burying themselves one after another level down, another level down. And no one takes the time to dig into that. The only people that dig into that is, them alphabet people up in D.C. if they're looking for some kind of criminal activity. Other than that, they ain't digging into none of that. So what happens? A certain group of folk are winding up buying up all the property. And they're controlling the wealth. Now, we're sitting here complaining about the 1% and the 99%, but we're positioning that 1% to gain even more wealth and assets instead of doing what we need to do and strengthening, paying our rent and strengthening those who are part of the 99%. Stuff gets really, really crazy, goes a whole lot further, which, we all pretty much anticipate is going to happen. A mom and pop, a small-time landlord, most likely is going to work with you because they're going to have compassion. They're going to be human. They're going to be considerate. They're going to be empathetic. They're going to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, there's no jobs out there, or there are jobs, but, I see you working 40 hours a week, and the best you can do is 500. If you can continue to pay 500 every month, I'll work with you. A corporation, a corporate landlord is not going to do that. A corporate landlord, they want their money on the 1st. If it ain't there by the 5th, they charging you a late fee on the 6th, and maybe by the 7th, they done down there to the courthouse filing for eviction. And in some places, I know in New York, evictions, once a landlord files, they come out and put a lock on the door. You can't even get in there and get your stuff and try to leave, You can't get in there, and if your baby Pampers are in there, or let's say for example you've got some health issues, or your child has health issues, and they're breathing breathalyzer, you know what I'm trying to say, the asthma thing is in there. They can't get to it. You can't get to it because it's behind lock and key. Think long and hard, people, about what you're doing. Think long and hard about what you're doing. Bottom line, ask yourself the question, when riding this out, trying to make it to the other side, and even on the other side of it, would I prefer a small-time mom and pop landlord or a corporate landlord? Mom and pop's going to be empathetic and they're going to work with you. Corporate's going to say, heck no, we want our money. I mean, let's be real. They're the ones buying up all this property and causing the price increase to pretty much price most of the 99% that don't already have to be in position to not be able to secure anything at this point. If you're making $7, $8 an hour, or even on some of these gig jobs, I think the average winds up being even under minimum wage. So even if you're putting in 40, 50 hours a week, how are you going to pay a mortgage? You can barely pay rent. So corporate's not going to be considerate of that. Corporate's going to say, sorry, you got to the end of the month, get gone. Mom and pop will say, well, you know what? I can struggle a little while longer. I've got a little bit of flexibility, some wiggle room. Or they might even say, and when I had rental property, I had one particular rental tenant who, had some issues or whatever, and they weren't able to make the full rent. And I knew what was going on. They talked to me. That's okay, fine. I can cover the difference for this time frame, whatever, and work with them. That's what happens when you have a mom and pop versus a corporate. Because a corporate, you're just a number. You're an entry on their balance sheet. That's all you are to them. Trust and believe. But just know that this moratorium is going to end. It's not going to be forever. And this whole UBI, universal income benefits, or however it's worded, go back and listen to the song from All in the Family, Archie and Edith Bunker, when they said we didn't need no welfare state, everybody paid their way. Go back and look at the poverty cycle. Go look at the whole welfare system and how we wound up losing generations to a welfare system. When the benefit to do nothing is greater than the benefit to get out there and bust your butt and make it happen for yourself, you become complacent. It's okay to sit around and wait for it to be handed to you. And then when it's handed, as long as you're sitting around waiting for it to be handed to you, you're not positioning yourself for better. If you're trying, trust and believe, there are those strings attached that are blocking that. This has been a long time coming. This is not accidental. This is strategic. It is planning. And the question is whether you're going to participate in the plan by way of helping to reallocate wealth, real estate, from the current rightful owners who are, whoever your mom and pop landlords are, over to corporations and banks. And when it's all said and done, if the corporations are not the same as the banks, they're arms of the banks, they're cousins of the banks, they're in cahoots with the banks. A lot of these corporations. And I don't have to call any names. If you're paying attention to this supposed news, you know who the big time names are that have been in and out the news for the last year and a half, or ever since about 6 months before this pandemic hit. You look at all them names. And if you dig down further, you'll see how many times those names are coming up on different things. A lot of the same players. This is strategic. Don't play a part in it. Because when it's all said and done, you may very well need that same little small-time landlord to work with you. And they just might. Or somehow, let's say you by chance land a great opportunity. Small-time landlord can't hang on no more. He's pushed the can, kicked the can down the road as long as he can't go any further. And, you know, you hit the lotto. Not a lot, 50,000. Not a lot of money. He's ready to sell. You say, look, I can't, pay for the whole thing. But if you're doing on a finance with me, I'll take this particular property off your hands. Let's say it's a duplex. So that gets it off of his balance sheet, moves it over to yours. So that increases our number of people who are property owners. And then that now gives you the opportunity that you probably wouldn't have gotten no other way. Because the way this stuff is being done, regular Main Street is not going to have an opportunity to purchase homes at a reasonable price. You're sure not going to have an opportunity to purchase anything for, any rental property extra. You're going to be struggling all you can just to keep up whatever you live in, whether it's a hut, a yurt, a teepee, a tent, wherever you live in. It's going to be taking all you can just to keep that going. So keep that in mind. Pay your rent. Be well, guys. Take care.